This is going to be the exact playbook that I'm running with every single person that I'm working with to 5, 10x their organic social media outreach and then funnel them to their products. This is just going to be the social media side and the growth. So let's start with the plan that I made this guy Shannon. He's not someone that I was interested in working with because he was not my ideal client, but he had a few $100 million in real estate. He's a part of a mastermind that I get to go to, and I was just helping him with for free. So I'm starting with YouTube. Uh, the first thing is the idea. His main problem was that he was thinking about being a YouTuber and he didn't understand that he could leverage his $250 million real estate syndication. So I was saying you need to think bigger, have a better idea for a video to where there's a lot of demand for what you are talking about. Then it comes down to packaging, title, thumbnail. How are you going to express that idea? Because if you can't express it in an entertaining way, you shouldn't even start recording. And before you even know what you're going to record, let's just have a brief outline of what you're going to talk about. There's a ton of tips with engagement for the content once you get started, but that is not important right now. Right now, it's just getting you on the right path. So start with a better idea. And then to make your life easier, I would probably script each minute out to have a really good piece of content that is also entertainment. You will understand why I'm saying to script out the content on a minute-to-minute basis, because let's just say if every single minute you have that is super entertaining, then that's going to keep retention for a long period of time, but it's also going to do something else. It is going to allow you to take, let's say, a 15-minute video and turn it into 5 to 10, maybe even 15 different clips. If you have a structured video that you kind of already pre-planned out that has 15 segments of 15 minutes of great, dense pieces of information that you can turn into Instagram, YouTube clips, TikTok, Twitter clips, etc., turning those into clips, that is going to make your life a whole lot easier so you can distribute your content to a much greater and higher capability to make your life easier. All you should spend your time on is thinking and filming these long form videos and then let a team do everything else. And then I think that everybody understands that you can turn the long form videos into, let's say, 15 pieces of content. And the reason why I said that is because it's going on multiple different platforms. So let's say you have 3 different clips, but that goes on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, etc. Just it goes everywhere. Therefore, you are spreading it across a bunch of different platforms. Then you have to be platform dependent based upon how you're posting and editing is going to be slightly different. But that is beside the point. Then what I would do is I would take a video transcript using AI you need another person involved to turn that into a blog post, a Twitter thread, an email blast, a LinkedIn post, a Facebook post, to where now that one great idea that you had is being distributed across another 5, 6 different platforms and different ways to format the information. And so now I'm just going to take the video transcript of this video that I did, AI revolutionized my business, and turn it into AI. So I put it into ChatGPT. I already made this Twitter thread GVP maker, and I got something back. It wasn't fantastic. So what I did is I refined it. I said, stop. I said, make it less cringy. There is into a similar tone what I had in the video. And I haven't even read this yet, but it seemed okay. So tweet 1, I replaced the workload of 17 employees with AI, a month's work done in just 4 hours of deep work using AI. This is beyond efficiency. It's a whole new way of working. A few weeks back, AI was just a buzzword to me. Now it's completely reshaped how I approach my business. For any business owner stuck in its own ways, it's time to look at AI seriously. Okay, I made this in 6 seconds. All right. And this is a good tweet thread. Then what I would say, turn this into a blog post that would be going up on my website. And guaranteed, this is going to be a really good blog post that is going to be exported because it's going to be the same information. Why? Why is all this stuff so important and so easy? Because right now, with the ability of AI, one person can literally do the work of dozens and dozens of people instantly. So this is so wildly efficient. Let's just say the person that I was telling, hey, just focus on the one long form video and then hire a good team and structure everything to where you can have someone doing all this in autopilot. All you do is make one long form video and then you are getting, let's say, 50, 75 pieces of content out a week. It would be way more than that. If you can do 2 pieces of content a week, you will literally be having 100 pieces of information, high quality, going out a week on every single platform or on total across all the platforms. How much faster do you think you're going to grow? And I can state definitively, if you are doing this with some intelligence and you understand the hooks, the retention for the platforms, and editing per platform, The results are ridiculous because it is quality and quantity. It is ridiculous how far you can come with a very, very low budget. I mean, I could create a team to do this and it would be very, very good for under $1,500 a month. And that would take somebody's social media from, let's say, from one person doing a few videos a week on every single platform to literally 100 pieces of content going out a week uh, that are incredibly high quality. And then what I would do is I would funnel everything to an email list and then get them to the product, and that's the sales portion. But let's just talk about the social media growth right now. Let's see, what did I say next? So this way, yep, all social medias can grow to an extreme degree because how much volume with as little time as possible. But the important part is the quality. It needs to be fantastic. You need to make sure your information is great. And this is where the human aspect comes in when the back end editing. The reason for that is because what causes these viral potential clips or Twitter threads. Right now, I've gotten the Twitter threads down to where, on average, anyone that I'm posting for my clients is getting over 200,000 impressions because you have to back it up with visuals, charts, graphics, visually illustrating what needs to be shown. That's really the goal. And one of the main things that I see a lot of people do in the education space, they over edit and they think that they should be putting a bunch of stock footage, which is just like people and businesses walking around in the background. Well, that doesn't help understand the video better. So, what do I recommend these people do? It is edit with a purpose only. Every single edit that you make should be helping visualize or illustrate what you are saying in a better way. If it does not do that, if that's your goal is to educate, then scratch the edit. If you are just editing for fancy purposes, there are times when that will look cool and it will help, but just having big flashing lights on the screen, I mean, I've heard people use the analogy of autistic editing that a lot of people on TikTok were doing. But what does that encourage? What kind of clientele? The people that I was working with, they are massive business owners. And I would just say, is that the kind of information that you like to consume? Who is your ideal or who is your ideal clientele? Because these people want to be working with people that are accredited investors and they're going to be dropping $1 million on a deal with them. And I'm like, do those people need the quote unquote autistic editing that all these other people are doing? And then they think and they get back, no, they don't need that. So I said, why are you doing that then? Why don't you make it educational for the way that you would want to consume it? And that is why B-roll is so important, which is just the graphics that you see on people's YouTube channels when someone's talking about something and there's a graph that pops up that's visually illustrated with it. That is huge. That is vitally important because it is helping make the video more understandable. And people like videos that make them feel smart at the end of it. So that is what I'm telling them and helping them do. And so then I was just giving him some actual advice as to what he was doing wrong, but that is not applicable for this video because I was just giving him a broad overview of what I would do if I were him. And if I was structuring this deal for myself, and I would say, I will do every single portion of this for you. I used to be an idiot and I'd say do it for a few $1,000s a month. And now instead, I'm going to say, how much money are you making right now across your digital online products or the product that you are working with? Let's say it's $100,000 per month. How about instead, you just give me 20% over what you are currently doing? Because if what I'm doing really works, your time commitment on this is going to go down because all you're going to do, and I'm going to help you focus on structuring a better idea for one long form video and then recording that to the best possible degree. And then once you're done with that, I will handle everything else. Literally every single thing will be off your plate and you can focus on running your business, which should be your number one priority. Then after all of that organic growth that you can have, you are going to have some sort of call to action to some sort of lead magnet, which is going to be some sort of additional free piece of content that they are going to entice to give you the email or go straight to product. And then I'm handling the funneling, actually getting the customers, getting them on a value add sequence, pretty much everything. That's the portion that I'm trying to get very, very good at now. It is actually the sequencing someone from a long-term viewer to a paid member. To getting the long-term viewers is pretty easy for me. Then you'd say, Josh, why don't you do this? You just made a great Twitter thread. Why don't you post that? Why don't you have some sort of lead magnet at the end that's going to get them to a free email list and then pitch some sort of a webinar or some sort of paid product like you were doing with these guys? Why don't you just do that for yourself if it's so highly profitable? I don't have anything that it would be worth selling. That's what you have to realize. Why do I want to work with these people? One, because they are massive business owners that I want to learn from and I can gain invaluable experience. And two, they have a great product, something that only decades of experience can get you. And That is why I want to work with these kinds of people who are the best in the world at what they do. I understand I could sell a course and maybe make $1 million from it, but I think that is, and have clickbait YouTube titles and edits to the way that I do for these people. I don't personally edit. I would just hire an in-house team that they usually already have, but train them to be better. Why don't I do any of this? Because that is the common question that I get asked. Dude, if you're so good at what you do, why don't you do it for yourself? And honestly, that's not the clientele that I want to bring on. It goes back to who is your ideal audience. And my ideal audience is not someone who needs any editing. I don't want to be selling anything. And if I don't want to sell anything, I really want to do this for the external benefits. One, I think if I can grow this, let's say over my 1,000-day journey that I plan on doing this, maybe there'll be some super hardcore viewers who have come to understand the process a lot that I could bring onto my team, and I could help them, or I could help expand what I'm doing by hiring people who are already fans of the channel, because they would already understand the mission and hopefully be very hardworking, because they, one, don't need the super clickbait titles and thumbnails that is going to grab onto their attention and then have the split screen Instagram subway surfers underneath. And then this is just a way that I can document myself, thinking through what I want to think about and keeping myself accountable for the work that I'm telling myself I'm going to do in a structured way. And honestly, I get incredibly anxious about any sort of views. I think most people get excited when their view count is up. I get more anxious, and I don't know why that is. Maybe that will change someday, and I might want to restructure the way I make my videos to have high retention editing, but I don't want to do that. I just think it's more fun to do this raw and organic and unedited, unscripted, just kind of shooting by the hip and see where it takes me. That might change someday, but I don't think I have anything in particular of value that I can provide right now. This is the bare minimum. I would rather work with the people and learn from them and hopefully make a lot of money with them than, instead of spending the next 5 years creating my own product, or next 5 months is what most people do, or some people even 5 weeks creating some sort of shitty product. I'd rather go someone that's already made a great product and help them sell that I feel confident that the person that's going to buy that is going to get a lot of value. I think right now, I just don't think I have anything of value to sell, which is why I wouldn't do it. And I hate online businesses. If I were to start something, I'd want to do something physical that you could tangibly access. And it's reputation. I don't want to sell anything because my reputation is the only thing that matters to me right now. So I can work with anyone and maintain that same reputation. If I do good, the word gets around, and I can continue to structure deals in whatever way possible. I just see only benefits of making these videos, regardless if I'm not going to edit them and turn them into the whole sequence that I recommend other people to do. And that's what I do for other people. But I can state definitively that it works, because you see the traction, because there are people who only like to consume information in certain platforms in certain ways. And so you tailor to those people that would never otherwise be able to hear about your product, and funnel them all to the ideal money and have a great product. That is what I'm doing. I think it would be pretty easy to hire and train some of these people to, let's say, synthesize the long form information, the clips. That's super easy. To post them across all the platforms. That's super easy. To have edited, to take the long form videos and turn them into AI posts. That is easy, but you still have to understand that AI is not going to do all of that. It's going to do 80% of it good, but you are going to need to fix the other 20%. And that 20% of work that you do is going to make up for 60, 70% of the results. And that is concrete. There are small tweaks that AI needs to be fixed, but that is why you have such an edge, because you understand that. Hopefully, at least I'm talking to myself, I've seen a lot of people take their content and turn it completely AI, and that's the complete wrong way to go about it. It couldn't be any worse than that, because it doesn't sound human. It doesn't feel like you're human. There's so many other things that go into it. That is where the magic happens, where you get the outsized results. But I still think it's easy to train somebody in that aspect, especially for the people that I'm recommending this to, the big business owners that don't necessarily care about spending a few $1,000s a month to facilitate this, because they just want results and they want them to be the best possible degree with them doing the least amount of work. So for them, taking me on would be very favorable. All of them are offering me big checks to do so, but I say no to 99% of the work that I get offered, because it is not right to me. But nonetheless, I help every single person the same, and I'll give them usually the same playbook. And 95% of the time, it is this playbook that I'm recommended. It would be different if they are completely new, but this is just an overview of what I'm recommending other people to do and what I'm doing with the people that I'm working with myself. I can tell you it works if you kind of do the things very good that need to be done. There's one other thing that I would recommend at the end is to hook people on to the next video to where your average watch time goes up a lot. That would be for the long form videos. So this is where I would end it, where if you want to check out the whole story as to how I got here, you got to watch it over here in this box.